This is $100. It does not look like financial freedom. It looks like groceries, fuel, one dinner out. It looks like a few takeaways after a stressful week. It looks like money that disappears so quietly, you barely remember where it went. But what happens if Wally takes this same $100 and invests it every month? Not in a perfect world, in the real world. The world where Wally forgets. The world where the car breaks. The world where some months that $100 feels impossible. Most finance videos show the clean version. But Wally is not a spreadsheet. Wally is a person. And people miss months. People panic. People need money today, not only 40 years from now. So today, we follow Wally through the real version. 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10, 20, 30, 40, and maybe even 60. Because if the game is longer than we think, even a small habit can become massive. Payday arrives. Money enters Wally's account. And almost immediately, it starts leaving. Rent or mortgage, food, electricity, insurance, fuel, debt, phone, internet. And then there are the things he forgot were coming. Wally is not rich, but he is not completely broke either. He is in that frustrating middle. He earns money, but every month, the money already has a job before it even arrives. And by the end of the month, Wally looks at his account and thinks, where did it all go? Then one day, he hears a simple idea. Invest $100 every month. At first, he almost laughs, because $100 feels too small to change his life, but too big to ignore. It is not nothing. It is real money, enough to matter today, but maybe small enough to build tomorrow. So Wally decides to try. Month 1, Wally invests $100 into a simple broad market ETF. Nothing fancy, no secret stock tip, no double your money by Friday, just $100 into a long-term investment. And then, nothing happens. Wally is still Wally. The bills are still there. His life does not magically upgrade. That is the first problem with investing. When you spend $100, you feel the reward immediately. But when you invest $100, the reward goes to future Wally. And future Wally is very easy to ignore when present Wally is tired. But Wally has started the machine. In the perfect version, Wally invests $100 every month for the first year. That means he puts in $1,200. Using a hypothetical 10% annual return, after year 1, he could have around $1,257. Nice. But not life-changing. He is not quitting his job. He is not buying a beach house. He just has a little over $1,200. Now let's look at real Wally. Real Wally starts strong. January, he invests. February, he forgets. March, he invests. April, groceries are higher than expected. Summer comes and money leaks everywhere. By the end of year 1, Wally only invests 10 months out of 12. So instead of $1,200, he invests $1,000. His account is around $1,045. And here Wally has his first important choice. He can say, I failed already. Or he can say, I invested $1,000 more than last year. That second sentence matters, because wealth does not begin when life is perfect. Wealth begins when one mistake does not make you quit. By the end of year 2, perfect Wally has invested $2,400. His account could be around $2,645. Still not huge, but something is forming. A habit. Real Wally is still not consistent. He invests when he remembers. He invests when the month feels safe. He invests when nothing urgent happens. But that means investing is always last in line. And when investing is last in line, it usually loses. By the end of year 2, real Wally has around $2,095. Not terrible, but Wally is disappointed. 2 years of trying, and he has just over $2,000. This is when many people start looking for shortcuts. Hot stocks, crypto moonshots, risky trades, anything that feels faster. But Wally slowly learns something boring and powerful. The first few years are not about the size of the account. They are about becoming the person who keeps building the account. That is the first level. Not wealth, habit. Now we jump to year 5. Perfect Wally has invested $6,000. His account could be around $7,744. Almost $8,000. That is not retirement money. But it is real. It is breathing room. It is proof that something is working. But real Wally does not get the perfect version. In year 3, he misses several months. In year 4, he does better. Then in year 5, life punches the plan. The car breaks. A bill arrives. Something in the house needs fixing. Wally has one of those months where every solution costs money. He looks at his investment account and thinks, I know this is for the future, but today is on fire. So he pauses. Then he takes out $1,000. He does not want to, but he needs the money. By the end of year 5, real Wally's account is around $4,861. And now shame enters the story. Wally thinks, I ruined it. But he did not ruin it. He used money during an emergency. That is not failure. That is life. The danger is not touching the money once. The danger is disappearing for 5 years because you feel guilty. Because one missed month can become a story. I failed. I'm bad with money. I'll restart later. So Wally creates his first real rule. Not never miss. That is too perfect. Too fragile. His rule is never miss twice. If he misses 1 month, he comes back the next month. If he cannot invest $100, he invests $25. If he cannot invest $25, he invests $10. Not because $10 will make him rich, because $10 protects the habit. It tells his brain, we are still doing this. A tiny contribution is not about the money. It is about refusing to let the identity die. Wally is learning the difference between a perfect plan and a durable plan. A perfect plan works only when life behaves. A durable plan works when life is annoying. At year 10, perfect Wally has invested $12,000. His account could be around $20,484. Now the account feels different. $20,000 is not freedom, but it is not nothing. It can protect you. It can reduce panic. It can give you options. Real Wally is behind. After the year 5 emergency, he restarted. Then he paused again. A few expensive months turned into almost a year of weak contributions. By year 10, real Wally has around $10,114. That hurts. Perfect Wally has around $20,000. Real Wally has around $10,000. Same idea, same person, different consistency. And this is where Wally has to be honest. Missed months matter, pauses matter, withdrawals matter, but they only become devastating if nothing changes. So Wally stops trying to simply be more disciplined. Instead, he builds a better system. This is $100 changes. First, he invests automatically after payday, not at the end of the month. Because at the end of the month, money often performs a magic trick. It disappears. Second, he creates a minimum version. Normal month, $100. Bad month, $25. Terrible month, $10. No more all or nothing. Third, Wally increases slowly when life improves. Not from $100 to $1,000 overnight. That is fantasy. But maybe from $100 to $110, then $120, then $150. When a debt is paid off, he redirects part of that old payment into investments. When he gets a raise, he invests part of the raise before lifestyle eats it. When he has a better month, he adds a small top-up. This is important. $100 is not the ceiling. $100 is the doorway. And in future Wallet Level Up videos, we will talk about how to invest more even when you start late, how to catch up after a crisis, and how to use raises, bonuses, debt payoff, side income, and spending resets. Because Wally is not trying to win one perfect month. He is trying to win the next 40 years. At year 20, perfect Wally has invested $24,000. His account could be around $75,937. And this is where the story starts to feel different. Because Wally is not looking at a tiny jar anymore. He is not looking at a cute little beginner account. He is looking at something real. This is where compounding starts to feel real. Wally personally put in $24,000, but the account is around $76,000. That means the growth is now bigger than the money he personally contributed, and that changes how the game feels. But real Wally is still behind. The version of Wally who stayed inconsistent, missed months, paused, withdrew money, and never really improved the system could have around $44,478. And to be clear, that is still good. That is still much better than zero. That is still proof that even an imperfect habit can build something meaningful. But compared to perfect Wally, he is clearly behind. Now look at Level Up Wally. He had the same messy start, missed months, emergency withdrawal, bad years, stressful years, months where investing felt impossible. But then he fixed the system. He automated after payday. He used the minimum version when life was hard. He increased slowly when life improved. And by year 20, Level Up Wally could have around $72,465. He is almost back to the perfect version, not because he never failed, Because he changed the system after failing. That is the real lesson. You can be behind and still catch up, but not if the same broken system keeps running. After 30 years, the numbers become serious. Perfect Wally has invested $36,000. His account could be around $226,049. This is where people finally say, okay, now I see it. Because $226,000 does not feel like a tiny habit anymore. It feels like a real financial asset. Real Wally, who never really fixed the habit, could have around $137,503 after investing around $28,100. Still meaningful, still powerful compared to zero, but compared to what was possible, clearly behind. But Level Up Wally could have around $244,533 after investing around $53,550. And that is the turning point. He is now past Perfect Wally, not through magic, not through luck, but because he slowly increased contributions over time. $100 became $110, then $120, then $150, then more when life allowed it. That is why $100 was never the ceiling. It was the doorway. The first habit opened the path. The later upgrades changed the destination. Now we reach the famous 40-year number. Perfect Wally has invested $48,000. His account could be around $632,408. That is the number people love to show. And yes, it is powerful. More than $600,000 from just $100 a month is where long-term compounding stops looking cute and starts looking life-changing. But real life creates different endings. Real Wally with missed months, pauses, and withdrawals could still have around $389,326 after investing around $38,100. That is lower, much lower, but it is not failure. But Level Up Wally, the Wally who started messy, fixed the system, and slowly increased contributions, could have around $714,950 after investing around $89,450. This is the story we actually care about. Perfect Wally is useful for math, but Level Up Wally is useful for real life, because he proves that you can start imperfectly and still build something better than the original plan. The goal is not to be perfect for 40 years. The goal is to keep improving for 40 years. That is a very different game. But now let's talk about the thought that keeps many people frozen. What if I'm already 40? What if I'm 45? What if I wasted too much time? The honest answer is, yes, earlier is better. Time matters. Starting at 20 gives you a huge advantage, but regret is not an investment strategy. Wally cannot go back and invest at 20, but he can stop making 50-year-old Wally regret what 40-year-old Wally refused to start. And if Wally starts later, the plan may need to change. Maybe $100 is the starter habit, not the final number. At a hypothetical 10% annual return, investing $100 per month for 20 years could become around $75,937. That is not the same as starting 40 years ago, but it is also not nothing. And if Wally eventually increases to $300 per month, that same 20-year window could become around $227,812. That could be a safety net, a retirement bridge, debt protection, freedom from panic. The reward is not just the number. The reward is options. Less stress when something breaks, more breathing room when life gets expensive, the ability to help family without destroying yourself, the ability to work because you choose to, not only because every bill is chasing you. Wally does not win because every month was easy. He wins because he keeps returning. Missed a month? Return. Had an emergency? Return. Started late? Return. Invested too little? Increase when you can. Because normal people do not need a perfect plan. They need a plan that survives normal life. So what happens if Wally invests $100 every month? In the perfect 40-year version, he invests $48,000 and could end with around $632,408. In the real-life version, with missed months, pauses, and withdrawals, he could still end with around $389,326. And in the level-up version, where he starts messy but fixes the system and increases over time, he could reach around $714,950. That is the main lesson. Perfect is powerful, but repaired can be stronger. The goal is not to never mess up. The goal is to build a system that brings you back. Automate after payday. Use the minimum version when life is hard. Increase slowly when life improves. And remember, $100 is not the ceiling, it is the doorway. And maybe we are also thinking about this over too short a timeline, because if people live longer, stay healthier, work differently, or keep earning in new ways, maybe the money story does not end at 65. Maybe Wally's investing life can be 50 years, or 60 years. At the same hypothetical 10% return, $100 per month for 60 years could grow to around $4.7 million. Now that does not mean the future is guaranteed. Inflation matters, taxes matter, fees matter, markets will have painful years. But the lesson is still clear. A small habit, protected for a long time, can become much bigger than it feels in the beginning, especially if the habit levels up. This is Wallet Level Up, real money lessons for real life. Because some months are hard, some plans break, some people start late, and none of that means the story is over. It only means we need a better system.